Listen to the sound of the wood pigeons for hours. Right, Thursday Night Smokes this week. Going for a cigar that I've put off having for a while. Now, somebody commented last week, Alex, very good eye. He said, do I see another Blackened cigar in your box? And yes, this is actually the S84, which is the second release that Metallica did. Now, this cigar I've put off because it's got a Maduro filler as opposed to a binder. Now, normally you put the Maduro wrapper as a wrapper, it goes on the outside of the cigar. So to have it on the inside made for an interesting idea. And it's got a Connecticut wrapper on this. Connecticut is not my favorite leaf, I will say. It's not a bad one. It's just, I think I'm too used to Cubans. And the Connecticut just doesn't always sit right. The thing about this cigar is when you actually smell the outside, it doesn't have a very strong aroma. You're not getting a lot of flavors there or hints at anything. But if you sniff the end, which I'm not sure you can see, but if you look on the end of that, you can actually see the darker leaf inside that, which is the Maduro leaf that's been mixed in. Now, when you sniff the foot of the cigar, that is quite spicy, quite intense. So hence I've put it off a little bit. Now, I did chuckle to myself the other week. I also saw, was it Cigars Daily? I don't know if you followed Tim at Cigars Daily. I followed him since his TNT days, so probably about 9 years. He actually said this is a breakfast cigar. And I'm genuinely like, really? So I'm going to finally try it. I'm going to go, as it's American, I'm going to go with bourbon today. I'm going for Eliza Craig. This is the small batch. So something very sweet, hopefully with something, hopefully spicy. Going to be interesting to see. That was disappointing, wasn't it? Oh, there's a definite hint of vanilla in there. Definitely has that bourbon feel to it. Nice little burn, not harsh. Very sweet, but it definitely has that bourbon aftertaste. But hopefully that should pair well with the cigar. Ooh. That really hits you on the nose. I'm honestly not sure what I think of that at the moment. Initially, it feels a bit weird. Feels, almost want to say it feels wrong, but then that's not, that's just my initial opinion. I don't know what I think of this. I'm actually tempted to grab a shot of coffee, clear my palate out, and have coffee with it and see if that's better. The whiskey is nice, actually. It does work. But I think it's taken away too much from the cigar. Maybe it is a breakfast cigar. Right. Back with coffee. Yeah, I'm hoping. Oh, there is just something about coffee. Oh. Right then. Interesting. I think having the coffee, because I have black coffee, that's brought out a real sharp sweetness out of the cigar that wasn't there a minute ago. which is interesting. I was expecting more peppery notes because of the Maduro filler. Ah, there we go. There's a bit of pepper coming through now. Yeah, this actually, you know, I think Tim at Cigars Daily, I think you might have been right, as this is a breakfast cigar. Never would have had that as a breakfast cigar, though, I have to admit. That's an interesting little choice. So, I wanted to also say thanks to Jim, who is another member of the British Cigar Society. He gifted me this cigar to try because he knew I wanted to do the M81. He went, well, I have one of these if you want to try it. He did warn me. He did say that he wasn't a fan. So I can understand why he's not a fan, if I'm honest. Totally get it. There is something interesting about the cigar, but overall, that's too light a cigar for me. It's actually a good cigar if you've not had a lot of cigars, because it's very light on the palate. It's not too complex. I think because it's a Metallica cigar, I was hoping for more out of it. It is most definitely, though, a breakfast cigar. It's a first thing in the day, sort of, you know, morning coffee. That would actually work quite well, especially if you've got a good hour or so to have with this. But yeah, I'm glad I tried it. The burn's not too great, I will say. That might be just the way I lit it, to be honest. It's not easy to see the flames on these lighters when it's like this. So just touch up that mascara line, even out the burn a bit. There was a definite sweet note in there. It definitely pairs better with coffee than it does with whiskey. So whereas the M81 is a proper Maduro and that requires a whiskey, coffee wouldn't do that justice. This, although it's got the Maduro filler, with the Connecticut wrapper, it doesn't work with alcohol. I think it has to be more of a soft drink based cigar, which is interesting. Would I buy them? No. I have to admit, I can honestly say I wouldn't have another one of these. I wouldn't buy another one. I'm incredibly grateful that I got to try it. The M81s, I would definitely recommend. I think for me, this is just a little bit too light for my palate. Well, I hope everybody's having a good week. Mine's been very frustrating. The gearbox on my wife's Merc went last week. Had it in at the garage. They wanted £1,200 to replace the part that's gone on the gearbox. The car is too old. It's not worth it, annoyingly. Oh, and also it would have taken 2 weeks to get the part over from Germany. What a pain in the ass. So the money I set aside to do that has now gone on a car. So everything, just when you think you're taking a step forward, you take a couple back. But we move on and move forward. Fee's got a car again, which is important. We picked that up today. So yeah, hence why I'm actually out in the afternoon having a cigar. So that's how my week's gone. Hopefully everybody else's week's better than mine, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.